For a few years in the 1970s, the Mr. Asia Syndicate made millions.
Heroin creates its own market. It acts like a form of plague.
Until jealousy, betrayal and murder brought it all crashing down.
Then he just pulled out a gun, shot her in the back of the head, and then said to Wayne, "You're going to help me bury her."
This is Mr. Asia, A Forgotten History. All episodes now available on iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
One hand, if you like, on the Premier's plate after last night.
Two waiting in the middle. Mai arriving now. It's over his head. Here's De Vries. Verstraete. It's crept in. Louis Verstraete for Auckland. And Steve Corica's team have hit the front in their bid potentially to win the Premiership as early as tonight.
Yeah, so as just explained, they didn't win it last night with Melbourne City closing to within a point. They went 7 points clear Auckland. Melbourne City drew last night, so 6 points. I've just explained how that all works, but it means that Auckland FC could win the Premier's Plate at home against Perth Glory a week today. They actually might even win it before they play that game because Melbourne City play Adelaide the night before. If they don't win that game, Melbourne City, then Auckland have the Premier's Plate. I'd quite like to see it come down to that Perth game because Auckland FC could win the Premier's Plate at home in front of what's likely to be a very, very big crowd. Auckland's FC's Director of Football is Terry McFlynn, who joins us from Melbourne just before the team flies home. Terry, thanks for your time, mate. First of all, last night, a 2-0 win over Melbourne Victory. What did you make of the performance at Amy Park in general terms?
Yeah, look, I thought it was a very professional performance. I think it was a real Auckland FC DNA performance where we just kept going and grind down the opposition. I think in the first half we knew it was going to be difficult. Obviously, Melbourne Victory are fighting to maintain their position in the six as well, so we knew it wasn't going to be an easy game. And there's no easy games in this league, but I think we weathered the storm early on. I thought Alex Paulson was absolutely fantastic again. And then in the second half, as I said, it was a real typical Auckland FC performance where we dominated with and without the ball, grind down our opposition until we finally got the breakthrough and got a deserved 2-0 win. That phrase you used there, the Auckland FC DNA, I heard Steve Corica say the same thing after the game last night. Just that desperation on defence, that never say die attitude. Just the I guess the desire, Terry, to deny Melbourne Victory, a very good attacking side, anything really in the way of too many concrete opportunities. Yeah, look, we knew obviously the coaches and the analysis team had done a fantastic job in analysing Melbourne Victory and how they like to hurt their opposition. We knew their front four was very, very attack-minded, very creative in attack, so we knew we had to shut them down. I thought Masashi in the middle of the park was fantastic for them yesterday. He's a fantastic footballer to watch. But I thought our boys stuck to the game plan, did a fantastic job in nullifying Azani for Lupale, Vergos, and then Fornaroli when he came on as well. So I think they only really had one real clear-cut head on goal, and again, Alex stood up to the challenge on that one. So yeah, look, it was a real resolute defensive performance. You know, we said that right from the outset, that defences will win you championships, and we've been fantastic all season. So I think we looked at the stats yesterday. We've picked up 25 points at home, 25 points away from home. We've lost one game at home, lost one game away. So we've been consistent right across the whole season. So yeah, look, we're looking forward to getting back in front of a full house at Go Media Stadium on Sunday and getting the job done there as well. Just on the Paulson save, it comes late in the game. You're 1-0 up. It's an absolutely magnificent save from Alex Paulson, save of the season contender. Then you go down the other end shortly afterwards and make it 2-0. So how big a moment was Alex Paulson's save at that time in the game? Oh, it was massive. It was absolutely massive. And I think that's when you look right across the whole group. And we spoke to the boys during the week about big players stand up in big moments, and there was a few moments yesterday. Louis Verstraete, I thought, was back to his best yesterday. I thought Alex was fantastic. I thought Dan Hall was excellent again. So yeah, look, we just kept going. We knew that if we pressed high, we'd get opportunities. And like you said, that second goal come from a high press. Louis won it high up. He had the composure to get inside the box, beat a defender, square for Guillermo to wrap it up at 2-0. So, like I said at the start, Jason, I think it was a really professional performance from the boys. We knew we had to come down here and get the job done, and that's what we did. So after you'd won,
you needed Western Sydney to beat Melbourne City last night if you were going to win the Premier's Plate last night with a couple of games to spare. They were 2-0 up early, got pegged back to 2-2, then scored what looked to be the winner late on. That was chalked off by VAR. How were the emotions as you all watched that game together?
We did, so obviously it started shortly after I was finished, so the boys were doing a bit of a recovery in the change room, ice baths and massage and things. So we actually saw the first 2 goals in the change rooms before we left Amy Park. We got back to the hotel just before half time. Obviously Melbourne City made it 2-1 just before half time, and we all had dinner together in the team room. We watched the game, and then it went to 2-2. And obviously, as the clock was ticking down, Western City got as you said, they got the free kick right at the death. And yeah, let's just say there's a lot of celebrating for about 2.5 minutes until the VAR chalked it off. So yeah, look, we knew that to win the Premiership, Jason, everything would come down to ourselves, and if we kept destiny in our own hands, which we have done, then we'll be fine. So for us, it would have been nice, obviously, to be going back flying into Auckland today as the Premiers into Auckland, but I think it'll be a special moment if we can get the job done at home in front of our friends, family, and the port on Sunday. Yeah,
I think that's the silver lining here. As you say, you've obviously prefer to win it as soon as you can, but you'll get the chance in front of your home fans next Sunday. They have been magnificent, haven't they? And it would be quite special, wouldn't it? Almost fitting if you were to lift that first piece of silverware in front of the fans at Go Media.
Yeah, look, it'll be absolutely amazing. Right from the very first pre-season friendly we had in, I think it was the end of July, start of August at Auckland United when they turned up there, and no one really knew anything about the football club or who we were or what we were doing. And I think we've all gone on this journey together. And, as you said, they've been absolutely fantastic, both at home and away. The support we had in Sydney last week was amazing. Having that number of people travel from Auckland across to support the boys meant a lot to them. And again, yesterday, we had a few hundred there at the game yesterday, and the boys celebrated with them after the game. So, yeah, look, I think it will be a special moment. But again, we need to remain focused. We need to make sure that the boys recover well this week. Bit of a longer turnaround. We got 8-day turnaround before we play Sunday. So we'll fly back into Auckland today, have tomorrow off, train Tuesday, Wednesday, have Thursday off, train Friday, Saturday, and then get ready for the game Sunday.
13 games unbeaten now, Terry. Have the number of draws in the last little while become in any way frustrating for you or for Steve, the players?
Not really. I think obviously you want to win every game, but I think every team goes through a little bit of dip in form throughout the season, whether that be through injury, suspension, or just purely based on form or travel. The good thing for us, Jason, is that our dip in form ended with draws and not defeats. So, as I said, we've only lost 2 games all season, one at home, one away. So our dip in form coincided with a lot of the draws. So I think as long as you maintain picking up points, as we said at the minute, we're sitting on 50 points. We've always said 2 points a game will win you the competition. So we're on track to maintain that level of consistency.
Yep, close enough to touch. Travel safe. Terry, thanks for your chat today, mate. We'll see you next Sunday.
Thanks, Jason. Take care.
You take care too, mate. That's Terry McFlynn, Director of Football with Auckland FC. Close enough to touch, indeed. Just 1 point from their remaining 2 games will ensure it, and they may not even need that.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.